So guys, a couple of days ago, Bungie dropped a brand new trailer for the Equilibrium dungeon. The brand new dungeon coming with the Renegades expansion launching in literally just a couple weeks now. And whilst the dungeon trailer itself is only 45 seconds long, there is still quite a lot of information that we can see from this trailer, including 4 completely brand new weapons inspired by weapons from Star Wars The Clone Wars, as well as some other hidden weapons that we can't really guess at what they are quite now, but can still take a look at. Alongside that, we have brand new armor sets to go over, as well as just some theming and story beats that we're also able to pick up from the trailer as well. So that's what we're going to be going over here today, mainly just covering everything that is hidden within this brand new trailer. Now, in the first couple of milliseconds, we are introduced to the main kind of villain of this dungeon, that being Dredgen Bale, and on Bungie's official website, we can actually see that the dungeon description here says that we need to hunt down the acolytes of Dredgen Bale and complete the pursuit to forge our own Praxic Blade, a powerful weapon infused by both light and dark. Now, the Praxic Blades are the lightsaber-inspired weapons that we see within many of the Renegades trailers, so it seems like from this description, we might be actually getting our first Praxic Blade from the dungeon itself. Now, that is not confirmed as of yet. It might be a post-campaign quest reward, and there might be some cosmetic stuff tied to unlocking the Praxic Blade here. We don't know all the details yet, but I am assuming that the quest line will require us to at least complete the dungeon to then forge our own Praxic Blade. Once again, nothing confirmed there, that's just my own speculation. But by hunting down the acolytes of Dredgen Bale, within the trailer we actually get quite a good look at their supposed base of operations here on Venus, as we know that we are going to be returning to Europa, Venus, and Mars in this expansion. This swamp-like area does very much look like Venus, although some people have assumed that it could be Savathun's throne world, but to me this does look very much like Venus. And inside of the first couple of seconds here, we actually get a good look at one of our first brand new weapons, including a brand new armor set and also a apparent logo for the acolytes of Dredgen Bale. Now, first, the sniper rifle that this hunter is holding. From my research, I believe this is inspired by the DC-15X sniper rifle from Clone Wars. The back of it looks kind of similar, and same with the scope. Also, the barrel that has all the dots on it does also look very, very similar. Now, we don't see the character shooting this type of weapon, so we do not know what damage type this sniper is going to be, but we can also confirm that it's very different from the heavy sniper that we've seen in past trailers, due to the general model being very, very different. Alongside this, the hunter armor here does give Jedi vibes, so it seems like the armor sets from this dungeon are all going to be Jedi themed. Now, we've seen the Warlock Jedi armor inside of most of the press images for this expansion, but the Hunter and Titan ones were officially revealed inside of this brand new trailer. And if you look behind the Hunter, just to the right of them, you can see a yellow kind of star-like image, which I am assuming is the logo for the acolytes of Dredgen Bale, due to them being inside of what I'm assuming is an abandoned temple of sorts that we will be starting out here inside of the dungeon. You can also see a whole load of darkness imagery from the statues to the left of the hunter, which is very interesting, although we don't really see much of this temple. We mainly go to the spaceship that is above this temple later in the trailer. Alongside that, near the beginning here, after they ride on their sparrows, we are actually able to see a couple more weapons being held by these characters. Now, the Warlock here on the right is holding that D15X sniper once again. The Hunter here, I believe, is holding the DC-15S blaster carbine from Clone Wars, but the Titan, we don't actually see what kind of weapon, or a better look, I should say, at the weapon that they are holding. It does kind of look like a scout rifle, although it could be another pulse rifle. That being said, we are getting a pulse rifle inside of the other set of weapons with Renegades, but we are also getting another sniper in there as well. So seeing repeat weapons here isn't a surprise, but I also just don't know what the Titan is holding here generally. So leave your thoughts there in the comments. But we do get a little later on a better look at this weapon here, which I am believing to be, once again, the DC-15S blaster carbine from Clone Wars, which has me Very excited. This is the main weapon that most clone troopers used inside of the animated show, and it does look very, very good here. Alongside that, a little later into the trailer, we do actually see them shooting out solar damage type shots from the weapon, which leads me to believe that it is going to be a solar damage type scout, although it could be an auto rifle. I don't really know what type of weapon the blaster carbine is meant to be. In the show, they shoot it like in single fire mode, so I'm guessing it would be a scout rifle here, but that's just my complete speculation. Alongside that though, we then later in the trailer see us ascending to the ship here, and this seems to be where the bulk of the dungeon will be taking place. Alongside that, we do see our back look of the different armor sets with the dungeon. We once again have the Warlock on the left, Hunter in the middle, and Titan on the right, although we will get better close-up looks of those armor sets later. Now though, this is the close-up shot of the second real symbol or icon that we see in this dungeon, and this red one, very different to the yellow one that we saw before, so I'm assuming that this is the logo for the brand new Cabal faction, which I'm guessing we'll be dealing with heavily inside of the Renegades campaign. But it's interesting to see that there's two different enemy factions here. Don't know if they're actually working together or if Dredgen Bale himself is just working with this brand new Cabal faction, and then the disciples of Dredgen Bale are like their own kind of faction. So I don't know if we're going to be fighting some human type enemies in this DLC. I'm guessing that we wouldn't. I'm guessing that they would just be either some Dread, Taken, or Cabal type enemies that just pledged themselves to Dredgen Bale rather than the new Cabal Imperium. Either way, good thing to note there. Then later on in the trailer, once again, big old jumping puzzle here. Very, very Star Wars themed in terms of the ship. And we once again get better looks here of the different weapons. Once again, the sniper being held by the Warlock. We get a better look at the Titan weapon there. It does kind of look like a pulse rifle that we've seen before inside of Destiny 2, but I do not honestly know what type of Star Wars weapon that would be. Either way, looks very cool. We also get better looks at the armor, as well as just better looks at the dungeon itself. Better look there at the Titan helmet. And then next we get a better look at the DC-15S blaster carbine, and as you can see, the shots being fired from it are orange in colour, so once again confirming that it is a solar type weapon, and due to the rate of fire that that weapon is showing, I'm guessing once again that it's a scout rifle. But now taking centre stage in this shot is the very cool looking new either ARC auto rifle or ARC machine gun inspired by the Z6 rotary blaster cannon. This looks absolutely insane, and it could be an assault rifle once again due to it looking exactly like Sweet Business, although due to Sweet Business being an exotic weapon, I could also see Bungie turning this thing into a heavy machine gun. So just to kind of balance it out a little bit, with this obviously being a legendary version, if it's an auto rifle, I'll be very, very happy, but I also won't be too surprised if it's a heavy machine gun. Either way, this thing looks incredible, and we also get a better look there at the Titan armor set, which does look very, very nice. A little bit later on in the trailer though, also new look at the Praxic blade, and our best look yet at the Titan Jedi themed armor set. All these sets seem to be Jedi themed, although the helmets kind of give Mandalorian, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm guessing it's just a helmet design set to fit in the Jedi aesthetic, but I can see many people probably taking these helmets and making a Mandalorian inspired fit either way. Just incredible look at the armor sets there. We know that it's going to be a Cabal themed dungeon, and then we have our best look yet at the Hunter armor set, as well as just the Titan and Warlock there on the other sides. Once again, Jedi themed armor, very, very excited. Don't know what the armor set bonus for these sets are going to be, but I'm hoping that it has something tied into like the Force or something like that. I don't know how that would work, but it would be really, really cool. And then next we get our best look yet at the Dark Saber, which I'm still confused whether it's a customization choice for the Praxic Blade exotic that we're getting, or if it's its own weapon. Now, important thing to note is that the hilt design is very, very different to what we've seen before. A lot of people are kind of hoping that it's a dual-bladed lightsaber due to the top and bottom of the blade looking very, very similar, but this might just be a customization choice. Another thing to note is that the blade hilt itself does have very strong Awoken Dreaming City vibes. It does kind of look like the tower inside of the Dreaming City that is the main centerpiece of that destination, and with the black and white blade you can also kind of assume that it is a Taken themed blade, which is probably the lore reason for how it has this color inside of Destiny. But if you've seen Star Wars, you obviously know that this is obviously inspired by the Darksaber, which is a very unique style of lightsaber that is only one of a kind and wielded by Mandalorians. Once again, kind of theming as well there with the different helmets that we're seeing. Jedi don't normally wear helmets, so I'm assuming that's where the design inspiration came from. But either way, lightsaber looks incredibly cool, and I'm really hoping that if it is its own customization option, that it comes from probably either soloing the dungeon or solo flawlessing the dungeon, or if it's just its own weapon, that would also be cool. But I don't feel like we're going to have one Praxic blade that we can fully customize and then just have one default Darksaber. That would just be kind of weird. I'd kind of like them to just be all one weapon that we can then just fully customize to our heart's content. Also, don't know how deep the blade hilt customization goes, but we have only seen this Dreaming City Awoken inspired blade, and then the default blade that we've seen inside of all of the other trailers as well. And I believe there's not much else here in the trailer that's completely brand new. We do get a better look here at the Titan armor set, as well as what I'm assuming will be the Season Pass weapon in the Chewbacca's crossbow. We have seen in past trailers, this is obviously a solar weapon, and it explodes. The shots explode even. But yeah, best look yet at our Titan armor set, which once again just looks absolutely incredible. And then I believe the trailer just kind of ends with a look up of the brand new ship that we're going to be exploring, as well as us on Venus. Either way, that's literally everything from the brand new dungeon trailer that you might have missed, going over the 4 or 5 brand new weapons within that trailer, the armor sets, and also some different stuff that we can assume that will be tied to the story of the dungeon as well. Now, one other thing that I need to mention is that Bungie has previously stated that due to us only getting one dungeon and one raid each year with the styles of expansions they're doing, I believe they stated that they should be increasing the amount of loot that is normally tied to a dungeon, because normally in a dungeon we normally get like 4 or 5 different weapons, and then inside of like a raid we normally get like 6 or 7, maybe 8 sometimes. Now, I don't know how many we got with the Edge of Fate raid, but that was also increased due to us getting an epic version of that raid, but we aren't going to be getting an epic version of this dungeon due to us getting a Pantheon style mode inside of the brand new major update coming after Renegades. That's just one thing to note. We should be seeing more loot inside of this dungeon compared to previous ones, which I am very excited about. Either way though, that is it for my complete breakdown of this brand new trailer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I would very much appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one.